Derbyites. I'm Rob.
I'm Paula.
And we're back to talk about episode 6 of season 4 of Outlander for your favourite TV show. This one's called Blood of My Blood, and it's basically the Lord John Grey episode. So let's just put it out there.
Don't sound so thrilled.
Yeah, look, I tell you, we'll talk about this one. You know, so I can't love them all. All right, they're not all going to be perfect. And
why not?
We came off the high of Savages.
Mm.
And then I think we just kind of went a little bit down like this. And no disrespect to David Berry, is that his name, who plays Lord John Grey, because he's great. And the cast, great. I just was very, very much interested in what was going to happen with Brianna going through the stones. And I got bupkis. And I'm disappointed.
Okay, I have to agree with you there. After the ending of episode 5, and then we get to here, and we get nothing of Brianna or Roger. I was a little bit let down by that, but I enjoyed the episode. I don't know what you're going on about.
Okay, let me read the thing so we just know what happened. So Jamie and Claire are surprised when Lord John Grey drops in on Fraser's Ridge with an unexpected travelling companion, William. When Grey contracts the measles, Claire must reconcile her personal feelings about the man with her duties as a doctor. Once again, medical Claire coming to the rescue. As a visiting regulator helps Claire take care of the ailing Grey and learns of Governor Tryon's plans to thwart the regular movement, whatever that means. Meanwhile, needing to quarantine his other guest away from the measles, Jamie embarks on a hunting trip dangerously close to Cherokee land. Okay, so basically, look, these are my notes. I've got Lord John Grey arrives, looks at Jamie like he's a pork chop. It's true, though. It's
okay.
True.
Well, okay. Look. It's a bit harsh.
He looks at Jamie with this, like, that glint. And that's cool. That's the whole point, because that's what's kind of Claire is feeling so insecure about. And obviously Jamie's gone through a lot of other kind of sexual assault type situations. And I think she conflates that with Lord John Grey having the hots for him, and the two shouldn't really be related, but in her head perhaps they are, and she's feeling a bit threatened, even though Jamie has always shown her nothing but loyalty and love and affection. But anyway, so all of that kind of stuff was just like, okay.
Well, you've got to remember, Jamie and Claire have spent 20 years apart. Okay, I know different lives and everything like that, but in comparison, Claire had Frank, she had Brianna, and she had a pretty relatively not easy time, but it was just her going on and just plodding along basically, and then Frank goes and has affairs, and then she comes back, she understands that Jamie would have had his own life, but now all these people are coming out the woodwork who want a piece of Jamie. I don't blame her. But, yeah, so I sort of got it from a married woman's perspective, why she would not like this bloke and how he's got to keep coming back. He just can't stay away. So, and Katrina's face, like the distaste she has for Lord John Grey, she just shows in her face, and I loved it.
And yet she's got to put that aside when he contracts the measles, and she's got to look after him because, again, she is a healer, and that's who she is at her core. And so she's looking after him. And obviously also there is a very strong link that Lord John Grey does have to the Frasers, because he is the caretaker for Willie. And that is a whole other thing that came out of this episode, because he brings Willie to see Jamie. And I was thinking the whole time that this was just going to be a very, like, Jamie looking at him knowingly, but Willie not knowing what the hell is going on. But Willie actually remembers Jamie, and so they do have some kind of connection, which is great.
Yeah, so it's good. It was actually really sweet to see. And then that's the other issue that Claire has, that Jamie went and had a child with somebody else. Not that she would ever begrudge him having a child, but I'm sure it would be difficult for anyone to sort of, talking about it and seeing a little miniature portrait is one thing, but actually having that child there and knowing that you can't say this is your daughter, but here is your son by some random, that probably hurts Claire a little bit because she hasn't been able to introduce Brianna to Jamie. And I get that. That would hurt. And then you're right, she does have to take care of him because she took every doctor's oath to do no harm.
Yeah. And like the thing with Willie, whatever you want to call it, it was nice to see him because the episode before, Jamie actually dreams of Brianna. And so like it's a nice link to have, like, it's hard for him. He's lost faith. He's lost William, and he's never met Brianna, and that weighs on him desperately as a father. And he's a very kind of feeling, very in touch with his feelings kind of guy, and so this must definitely really weigh on him. And for him to have the opportunity to spend some time with his biological son, who does not see Jamie as his father necessarily, because he's being raised by Lord John Grey, it was a nice touch, and it was probably the highlight parts of this episode for me.
It was. I agree. It was a good part of, for Sam to sort of expand. He's had the warrior, he's had the soldier, he's had the husband, he's had the Klansman, he's had the wanted criminal, sort of all these different hats, a prisoner. Now he gets to sort of, in one little section, he gets to continue to be a father. And, I'm sure every father out there could appreciate that. And it was actually nice to see. He got to be able to teach him a few things that I'm sure that's what fathers love to do, teach their children. In this day and age, it would be to ride a bike or maybe even more closer to code a computer. But this was Jamie's chance to be a father, even for a little bit. And you're right, because he did lose faith, never met Brianna. This is the only child he actually gets to be able to parent in some way, shape or form.
Yeah, and so let's move on. So the other things about the episode that I liked was the standoff with the Cherokee, and Willie steps in to save Jamie from the Cherokee, and the Cherokee let them go. Any interaction they have with the Cherokee tribe that's nearby Fraser's Ridge, I really enjoy. I think they're not like they're not playing them stereotypically. They're just I think they're trying to play them and try to depict them as authentically as possible, and I like that. Not that I'm an expert on Native American culture. I'm nowhere near it, but I feel like they're trying to make that as authentic as possible.
I agree. From the fact that we are two Australians born and bred in a country a million miles away with not a completely different history, but we don't know much about Native Americans, let alone all the different kinds of tribes that they had or the intricacies of their history. It's, from what we are seeing in Outlander, they seem to be depicting them quite faithfully. I believe. I agree. So, and then, yeah.
So Jamie gives Claire a new wedding ring, the one that is from the books. What's that all about?
Okay, so she loses. Now, because she got robbed by Stephen Bonnet, her ring to Jamie was stolen because she swallowed. Remember how she swallowed the ring from Frank and she coughed it back up? So this was the episode I watched today. She said to Jamie, "You don't need to give me anything," because he said, "I want to give you laces and jewels and all that." And she goes, "I have everything I want. The only jewelry I want is this ring." And so in season 1, when the ring was revealed, everyone was like, I remember reading, they were like, "That's not what the ring's meant to look like. It's meant to look like this. It's meant to look like that." And so it was kind of nice to see the wardrobe department come up with, I don't remember Jamie actually creating a ring for Claire, a replacement ring for Claire in the books, but it was actually nice to see the design of what the ring was meant to be like. So he's just trying to give her back her wedding ring. The one thing, the one possession in the world, other than her daughter, she cherishes the most.
Yeah, that makes sense. So look, all in all, the episode was okay. I think I was just very disappointed that I don't get to follow what Brianna has done. I'm sure that's going to happen next episode. We haven't seen that yet. That's weeks away, obviously, but Starz is going to obviously release the next batch of episodes soon. So I'll just have to start pestering them incessantly.
Fingers crossed.
I do. And hopefully we'll get to see that. And then we'll be talking about what she's, because I just have no idea what's going to happen. I really don't. It's not predictable for me at all. And you obviously do have an idea. But that brings me to this final question. So the show has quite diverged from the books in certain ways, especially I would say the highlight being with Myrta now being a main character. Do you think there's anything else that the show has done so far this season that you weren't expecting, or is it so far following what the pattern that you would be expecting to see?
It's pretty much other than Myrta, it is pretty much following the pattern that I remember from the books. Or from the book, I should say, if we're just specifically talking about season 4. There are a few things, but, Drums of Autumn is a pretty big book. So I don't know if they're going to get to cover the whole book in season 4. From past what we've seen, that's what they've done. Each season is a book. I don't know. There are a few storylines coming up that really stood out to me in Drums of Autumn, and then I'm really looking forward to seeing play out in Outlander. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But so far, it's been pretty faithful. If there have been changes, I haven't noticed them, or I've appreciated the fact that you do sometimes need to diverge from the book because it won't translate on screen as well. So I appreciate both as standalones and I appreciate them together. So far, I haven't been disappointed. To sum it up.
Well, we've got a lot more to look forward to. Everybody, as I always say, please stick with Gold Derby. We do our best to try to cover this show as best as possible. We'll be back every week to talk about every episode. You can follow us on @Gold Derby, @Robert Licuria, @Paula Licuria. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, obviously Twitter that I've said, and come to the website, look us up on YouTube, and give us your feedback and comments. We really do welcome them. We're always looking to improve our discussions on this show that you guys love and really kind of own in terms of its fandom. So we'll see you next week. Thanks again for joining us, and yeah.